Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and this video is a little different because, well, today is a little different. I have never, ever seen so much coverage on China in the top stories as I've seen today. It's just dominating the media, and I think because of the announcement that was made a couple of days ago that China was really going to embrace blockchain and cryptocurrency, you're just not going to believe what's coming out today. Let me break it down for you. The first is a CCID research that released their 14th Global Public Chain Technology Evaluation Index. This is something that's done on occasion, and the top ranking coins are as such: EOS, Tron, Ethereum, Nulls, and BitShares. Now, XRP in the past has been greatly underestimated, but it's significantly increased this time. It went from a ranking of 30th to 20th, and the reasons given were technology, applicability, and innovation. The other story is something that happened pretty big in Beijing yesterday. This was a high-quality development decisions meeting that took place in Sichuan. This is where most of the Bitcoin mining is done. Do you know that 70% of the world's mining Bitcoin is produced in China? India, just 4%, and the United States, just 1%, according to this meeting. And how do they do it? Well, China does it with their cheap hydropower, and that is how they're going to continue to do it, because they are able to cool down those operations. Now, Jiang Yang, the member of the National Committee, he sees China at the same starting point as the West right now, and made the comment that with advancement in research, yet China has every intention on taking the lead. The next story is actually surprising as well. The Chinese Bitcoin mining machine maker Canaan files for a US IPO. They are the second largest ASIC manufacturer after Bitmain. And even in a bearish year of 2018, they were able to make $400 million in revenue. They make 27 miners, 27 of them. The prices start at $700 and go up to about $2,000, $1,978 to be exact. I think should they get a successful IPO, they're going to have capital that will allow them to dominate even further in this space. Now, the other story is about the first Chinese private bank. This is the China Merchants Bank. There are 500 branches in China. They have made a big investment, and that is with a company out of Sydney, Australia called BitByBit. BitByBit is an industry-leading multi-blockchain wallet. So just in less than 72 hours since that announcement came out, we see all this rapid movement. I'm telling you, we cannot be asleep at the wheel. If you want to pay attention to what is happening, Davi is really fantastic to follow on Twitter. She's on top of things and probably my best source for what's going on in this space when it comes to China. This is something she tweeted out, and it's a warning to not only the United States, it's a warning to everybody, because eventually all things can be state-owned, or at least partially. So she's talking about mining, or the hardware, the exchanges, the wallets, etc., etc. If I were to make one change in her tweet, I would say all things will be state-owned, or at least partially. I want to look at this because I think when you are in a race, you need to look at the differences in culture. I was sent this yesterday by someone in the Netherlands for an entirely different discussion that we were having, but it is so perfect for this video because this company that is out of Finland is anchored in rigorous academic theory, and they have been doing so for 30 years. Their data-driven analysis delivers results used for companies to analyze cultures who are doing global businesses. So who have they worked for? Well, people like Procter & Gamble, Nike, the U.S. Marines, the U.S. nuclear regulators, GE, Siemens, Volvo, Microsoft, because culture does matter when you are in competition. I'm looking at China compared to Japan, compared to the United States. So China in the blue. In regards to power distance, this is a metric that they are measuring the relationship viewed between people of whether you have a low rank or a high rank. Do you see a lot of distance? You can see here in China, the score is quite high with 80. Japan, 54, the United States 40. I think because the United States really sees themselves as equal. I mean, we try to preach that equality among everybody. The next comparison is individualism. Do you see yourself as an I, or do you see yourself as a we? So you can see here in China, the I only scores 20 points. So it is very much a we society. Japan, 46. The United States, 91. Not surprising because it is very much an I society. Masculinity. China, 66. Japan, not surprising, 95. United States, 62. So this is where China and the United States are quite close to each other. Uncertainty, avoidance, this is, are you risk adverse? And you can see that China has no problem with risk. They only have an avoidance of 30. In Japan, it's a very, very high score, 92. There is a huge avoidance of risk in many ways here, much more careful. United States scores 46. Long-term orientation. This is about, are you focused on the future? And so are you willing to delay short-term emotional gratification in order to prepare for the future? Look at how close China and Japan are. So in Asia, this is very much a focus, and that is the long-term strategy, planning, execution. United States, quite low, scoring only 26. And the last one, indulgence, which means, are you enjoying life? Do you have fun? The low score of 24 for China, Japan 42, and the United States 68. I think it tells a lot. And the last thing I want to talk about is just how much I had fun today with my zoo fam. This was a celebration of 1 year, and wow, it has been an amazing 1 year. It's gone fast, and I can't wait for the next year. In this kind of birthday party, there was Sam, there is Kick, there's myself, there's Bob Moneybags, there's Rob Cash. Underneath me here is Jungle. He was looking very sharp today. There's Malpass. Mr. Malpass is really, really the glue, I think, of this group. He keeps everybody grounded. And of course, Bones, who I really enjoy. I think we're going to go to the fluff now, everybody. But I wanted to say thanks for all those who joined the stream. And thanks so much for all the contributions. And let's make it a really good second year. I want to talk about birthdays for the fluff, because there is a little bit of difference between how birthdays are celebrated in Japan and from where I grew up in the United States. The first is the cake. So in Japan, birthday cakes are all about fruit. Mangoes, strawberries, kiwis, blueberries. It is a fruit cake. That is the way the cakes are made and served for birthdays here. As you know, in America, we do sheet cakes, and I don't even think the sheet cakes I grew up with even this fancy. We used to just use those squeeze tubes of lots of colored frosting and make a big mess and then put tons of candles on top. But the sheet cake in Japan is, yeah, I've not ever seen one actually. And another big difference is the way we sing happy birthday. I'm just going to play this really quick because you can see in a matter of just seconds how fast it is sung here in Japan. And not only how fast, but also they clap to the song. So here, just for fun, listen to this really quick. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. So you can see it is totally different than how I grew up singing happy birthday. And I think in the United States, there is a huge boom around the world, actually, because I have a friend in Norway who's doing this too. They're doing theme cakes, and they're beautiful and elaborate and quite amazing. This hasn't yet caught on here in Japan, but theme restaurants are everywhere. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of theme restaurants. This one's in Shinjuku called The Lockup. And when you arrive, yes, you will be handcuffed and you will be taken to a cell for dinner. Or if you're more into something that's a little bit softer, you can go to an Alice in Wonderland theme restaurant. And also, I think there's even a Hooters version for ramen. Oh, I thought that you guys would get a kick out of this. But yeah, there's a Hooters version for ramen. And one of the most fun to maybe visit is the restaurant where you fish for your dinner. Actually, this isn't so strange because there's lots of places that have tanks of fish where you choose the fish that you want. But to actually do your own fishing, yeah, this is a little bit unique. And you can do this in Tokyo. And can't be squeamish because you'll get your hooked fish served to you sashimi style. And yes, with the head and tail. And the eye still moves. I'll tell you, it's yummy, but you have to be strong for this. This is Aji, by the way. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.